All right, we are going to be looking at evaluating different polynomials today. And so the first thing it wants us to do is I gave you a polynomial and it's wanting you to find f of 2 right here. All that means is that wherever you see a y, you are going to plug in a 2. Okay, so I will take 3 times 2 squared minus 3 times 2 plus 1 right there. Common mistake right here is that people will multiply 3 times 2 first and then square it. Remember that your PEMDAS, your order of operations, tells you that you have to do exponents before you can multiply and divide. And so I need to take 2 squared and get 4 first. And then, of course, I have 3 times 4 minus 6 plus 1. Of course, 12 minus 6 plus 1. 12 minus 6 is 6 plus 1 makes this whole quantity be 7. Okay? And the next one, when I plug in negative 3, all I need to do then is wherever I see a y, I will plug in negative 3. Again, make sure you square it first. Common mistake here is that when you're squaring a quantity on your calculator, you don't put it in parentheses. If you take negative 3 squared onto your calculator and you don't put it in parentheses, your calculator will spit out negative 9. So just make sure you put it in parentheses if you indeed want to square the negative with it, which I do here. And of course, negative 3 squared is positive 9. And then negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. And so here I will get 27 plus 10, which of course makes 37. All right, when I put in negative 5, I bet I don't even need to do this one, but I will do it for you. If you want to skip this problem, I think you are okay doing that. Negative 5 squared is 25. And of course I get 75 plus 15 plus 1. Actually, I can just make this be 16. And I will get 91. All right, the next one, it's kind of weird, but it's asking you to plug in a squared. And again, all that means is that wherever I see an x, I'm going to plug in a squared. So I will have a squared quantity cubed plus 4 times a squared quantity squared minus 5 times a squared. You need to remember your exponent rules here. So if you have one base with 2 exponents like this, you multiply the exponents. So this becomes a to the 6th plus 4, and again, a squared squared. I will multiply my exponents. 2 times 2 is 4 minus 5a squared. And here I have no like terms. I have no terms that have the same variable with the same exponent, so I can't combine anything. And this is my final answer. All right, this one's a little tricky, but we can do it. Okay, so the first thing it wants me to do is find q of a plus 1. So I am going to plug a plus 1 into that quantity and wherever I see an x. Okay, so I'm plugging it in right here. Wherever I see an x, I am going to put in a plus 1. So I have a plus 1 quantity squared plus 3 times a plus 1 plus 4. Okay, I'm just doing this piece of it right now, and then we'll put everything together. Really common mistake when you take a plus 1 and square it is people want to take the a and square it, and the 1 and square it, but that's not what you do. Remember, when you square a quantity, you need to multiply it by itself, like that. So that's how that would look. Here, of course, I will distribute the 3. Okay. When I square this, I need to FOIL it. So a times a is a squared. My outsides are a. My insides are a. So when I have an a plus an a, that means I have 2a. And then my last, 1 times 1 is 1. Okay, and then I have 3a plus, and I will combine this 3 and that 4 to make 7. And I can simplify this a little bit more by combining my like terms. So I will have a squared plus 5a plus 7, or plus 8. Okay, so that's just that quantity. So this right here is q of a plus 1. Okay, that's what that means. I'm going to just box this off just so that I can remember where I was at. Okay, it's not the answer. All right. Then right here, it wants me to take 2 times q of a. So 2 times q of a means that I am going to take 2 times the quantity that I get when I plug a in for x. That's what this piece means. I'm going to plug a in for x. So then I will have a squared plus 3a plus 4. And I need to take 2 times that quantity. Okay? So when I take 2 times that quantity, basically I'm going to distribute that 2 through. And so 2 times q of a will be 2a squared plus 6a plus 8. Okay, and I'm going to just sort of box that off for right now so that I have that. Okay, now if we put this all together, what it wants me to do is take this quantity, the very first one we did in blue, and subtract the one we did in red. Okay, that's what it wants me to do. So again, it wants me to take the blue one and subtract the one I did in red. Okay, now when I subtract, I need to subtract that whole quantity. I don't just subtract, I can't just write it like this and subtract the first term. That's not going to work. I need to subtract the whole quantity, and when I subtract the whole quantity, that negative sign needs to get distributed. Okay, so I have negative 2a squared minus 6a minus 8 when you distribute that negative. Okay, now you want to combine your like terms because you can. And so I have a squared here and negative 2a squared here, which gives me negative 1a squared. And I have 5a and negative 6a, which gives me negative 1a. And then I have positive 8 and negative 8, which of course makes 0 to cancel. And this is what I get when I take those two quantities and subtract them. All right.